welcome back, man. Crazy. I'm gonna talk about a lot of things, this podcast and stuff like that. Obviously, I've changed the name from Fire Podcast to Fire Channel because I thought that would be better. Because I think I want to make this more of a kind of YouTube channel stuff. My goal is YouTube channel to really help young men and stuff like that to really prosper and stuff like that, to really get with their mental health. Because I think what we're going through right now in this world is like, especially for young men, is crazy and stuff like that. And I think the truth is, it's not being spoken about. I think these culture vultures are really just taking the advantage of a struggling economy and a struggling world right now. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's what I'm going to talk about. This podcast and stuff like that. This channel wants to be really about. So that's why I've changed the name, but also make this fun as well. So I'm not gonna be negative anyway. I don't think I want to attract any negativity towards this channel. Or I will, if I do get in controversy or negativity, it will be for the right reasons, for against the right people who need to be called out and stuff like that. So yeah. Um, right now I want to talk about personal life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I'm kind of a nerdish and stuff like that. I'm kind of an anime kid. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm an older anime kid. I'm in my 30s and stuff like that. Well, I am 30, so that's what I'm trying to do. And I think I want to be relatable and stuff like that. So I really want to kind of relate in that aspect, especially growing up watching anime. That was really cool at the time because at the time it was kind of niche, very much to be an anime guy. Like I remember in school, kind of just like being told, "Oh, you watch cartoons and stuff like that." I was like, "Bruv, if those cartoons mean I get to see ninjas hold the energy ball towards their stomach and then that same person that can multiply himself, yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna watch that shit." And you know what? It was really cool to kind of like very motivating as well to kind of see this, especially because Naruto. I'm talking about Naruto. Okay, at the time it was completely different and stuff like that. And also like One Piece at the time was also about because it was all I found it all just on like I don't know if anybody could remember the show Jetix and stuff like that, or like I remember like Fox Kids in the UK, bro. That was crazy. I'm that old, and we were able to find animes on that stuff. I originally thought it was a cartoon, but when I go back and I see Yu-Gi-Oh was an anime. I was like, damn, Yu-Gi-Oh wasn't that. Even Pokemon is an anime. Look how crazy, insane thing that big. So I think it's an industry by itself. Actually, you can't even classify as anime. It's like Pokemon is its own thing. Do you know what I mean? It's just its own entity. To see cards be traded like that and stuff like that, to be essentially its own economy. Like that's how crazy it is. People are making money. I seen the videos I'm seeing right now. It's just insane of Pokemon cards being traded. But I was buying it for like probably what 50p back then when things actually cost 50p. Not even 50p. It was probably 25p at the time to buy these cards and stuff like that with a pack of cards. And to see it now explode into like you around like a pack, lucky pack, and you can make £1,000 and stuff like that, or like 10x your money basically. These on these cards and stuff like that, even Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that. So it's just insane and stuff like that. But I want to get back to like Naruto was just a game changer for me because obviously at the time I'm a dyslexic kid. I've got learning like difficulties and stuff, complex learning difficulties. I have dyspraxia, dyslexia, dyscalculus and stuff like that, and that will put me on the autism spectrum. So I thought the Nine Tails was like, yo, my complex learning difficulties. I really obviously it's an overreach. Okay, I'm trying to say it's an overreach massively, but it's really cool to kind of you always try to like what you say. You always try to place yourself into the characters and like you see yourself within the character. And that's what you kind of saw in Naruto. But as Naruto got older and not even older, but like the more the like story developed, the more like complex it was, the more like, oh shit, I didn't know writing exists like this. Basically, I think the writing really stuck with me because the writing anime was for far superior what we had in the UK so far, as far as storytelling. Like people were like, oh, you're watching cartoons. I was like, bro, the guy killed his whole family to save a village, basically his whole clan, basically, and and he was a spy for the village just to save the village. So he sacrificed everything, and it was just like it's either between that or standards or like holy. I shout out to Coronation Street though. I like Coronation Street, but I just it was the writing was so much better. It was more like it was more engaging to me because it was something so different and stuff like that, and it was so like he actually dealt with death and stuff like that. Like pretty on when the first Hokage died and stuff like that, I really like these guys deal with real like not real life situations but real tragedies and stuff like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like they kill pretty people off in a gruesome fashion and stuff like that. It really changed you, really engaged you and stuff like that. It's like nobody was kind of safe at the time. It was really I wouldn't say Game of Thrones, but Naruto was kind of like Game of Thrones-ish beforehand because killing off the third Hokage, who was a dickhead by the way. I am with the third Hokage slander because he just let Naruto have a bad life. You know what I mean? He just let him. So I just thought it was crazy, man. I was just thought, wow, what is this, bro? And then you had like Dragon Ball Z as well, but that's in super old school. That's even before, just before my time. But you know, I still remember the theme song, Dragon, Dragon, Aqua Dragon. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, man, being an anime kid, I thought it was great to watch anime. Like I thought it was, and no offense, a lot of black kids watch anime. Like we watched anime more than anybody else and stuff like that at the time because we see something dope, we're gonna hype it up. Like, do you know what I mean? So like obviously anime is now obviously for everybody. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to pull on that around, but there's only like a bunch of black kids who were watching it, and then eventually people caught on. It's like, oh, this is fucking dope, bruv. But yeah, man, it was so cool to see. It was so cool to see like just watch it, man. I think there's no point in my life where I haven't watched anime. I don't think I will ever. I don't think it ever stopped. But also, some of these animes are way too short, and it's become too corporatized. I get like back in the day when like Naruto had so many fillers. I used to hate the fillers. I was like, bro, why is it? I used to wait for I used to watch it weekly. I used to hate it. And when I saw a filler episode, I was like, bro, what a waste of time. They can at least warn me when it's going to be a filler episode. And sometimes they did. I didn't watch the previews or stuff like that, but it was amazing. But you know what really changed crazy when I think about it? I didn't really get it at the time. Was actually the story that actually changed was kind of One Piece as well. One Piece was like, now I see what is today. And I look back, I was like, oh, this was a like crazy story. Like it just the only anime that I've ever thought lasted 20 years and actually has progressively gotten better and better. I used to watch One Piece like periodically, so I would leave it for 3 months, come back, then watch it again. I missed the whole Marineford arc, by the way. I just wanna Neil deGrasse Tyson that arc, by the way. Like I missed all of it basically, but now when I went to get back to watch it, I was like, oh my days, what is happening here? And I got to like basically binge watch all of that. I was like, holy shit, this was sick. So I think I remember watching it, and I watched we're from the Alabasta arc when you see him beat Crocodile. I think I stayed away, and I missed the Sky Island arc as well. So I missed quite a fucking bit, by the way. I missed quite a lot. So I missed quite a lot, but I watched like because I remember the first couple episodes were on again. I said Jetix or all the old school like channels and stuff like that. So it was really cool, and to see what it is today, like I think you got to give credit where credit is due to Oda as one of the greatest like storytellers of our times. because that's not possible to do. There's very few people who can actually go through 20 years of consistent writing and the storyline getting progressing, getting better. Obviously, people have got their opinions, but I'm talking about overall. Like, even if you think it's worse, it's probably just stayed level. Do you know what I mean? Over the time, and I think people have most people agree with me on that one. It's just to say like, hey, this is amazing. Like, it's just generally just that show is just generally just amazing. Like you can't like how can I say, like, you can't really criticize pretty much anything. For me personally, it's amazing how much a dude can, like, he works himself to death as well. That's the another thing. We know about the stories when we hear this guy in the hospital, although he this guy in the hospital, and we hear him still drawing in the hospital. Like, he's completely down for the thing, and now like he's changed it to be a bit more fun and stuff like that, which is all fair dues, isn't it? I think at the time where I think the one arc where he changed it to be a bit more fun with Fifth Gear was kind of old. Everybody kind of dislike how unserious it is, but at the same time, man, you got to remember this is his story. Like, this is what he wanted to be. He doesn't want to be like kind of like, what's it called? Like, it to be anything else but fun at this point. Like, he deserves like to enjoy his work. Like, it's his work. It's his idea that came up to us. Like, we got here because I'm watching, because his is something from his brain. And I think overall, man, like, it's gonna be quite upsetting when he ends the story, man. Like, I was very upset when Naruto kind of ended, but it was just like, hey, I had a great run. Do you know what I mean? And I think we have to move on eventually, because I've been watching since 2000 and well, I started watching it basically. It was 2000 and I think it was like 2008. Do you know what I mean? So I was in just the beginning of secondary school. So like, that's how long it is, and considering it's now 2026, that's how far I fucking watched that shit. So yeah, man, it's so dope to see how good that story is, man, and to see, like, growing up as an anime kid, basically, to see the wondrous stories that came out, not in just in like in the series and stuff like that, in the movies, in other shows. Like, I thought Code Geass is one of the greatest ever, like, storytellers and stuff like that. But also, for me, I'm only suggesting, I think Full Metal Alchemist is the greatest story ever, like, greatest anime ever. I generally think like that is something that whoever wrote that should be applauded as like a real storyteller, as like a, I wouldn't say Shakespeare, but like I kind of like those kind of like times and stuff like that. Like, it's hard to, like, it's very not political, but it's very like interwoven, like a kind of political show, like how the government affects this and stuff like that, and how it's interwoven with this dark shadow like organization and stuff like that, controlled by this lust for like life and eternity and immortality and stuff like that, that kills people's greed and stuff like that, and like having the seven deadly, like the homunculus and stuff like that, having be the seven deadly sins and stuff like that. It was really quite like that's it's like theologic. Like, what's it called? Not theologian and stuff like that. My dad was a theologian. That was it. Theologic. The theologian. Nah, shut up, whatever. Like, really much kind of really a religious base to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a religious base that I don't think like I've ever seen like a show like that. Like, and like to see like how the brothers go through what they go through, losing their mother and stuff, and doing anything to get back, and not dealing with their grief, and how you lose somebody and you do everything to get them back. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I lost my father like a couple years back, and I was like, I would do anything to get him back. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing about it. That's what makes him so relatable. A lot of you guys have lost parents and stuff like that, and you do anything to get him back. would do anything and stuff like that. So it's just, yeah, man. You identify with Eric's like character because he will do anything to get his brother back and his family back. Do you know what I mean? You also can identify with kind of father who's a sense of duty and stuff like that, who's lived long enough. So the whole story was dope, just top to bottom as well. I think that's the best for me, Full Metal Alchemist. And I'm not like a stand for it as well. I'm just a fan, but if I'm objectively saying that's the best one, so yeah, man. Honestly, it's so dope. It's so dope, man. I just think that's the one of the best ever. I think what anime's had such an impact on everybody's life and stuff like that. But I think the criticism right now is too commercialized right now. I want to get back to a bit more of the old school way of like having 24 episodes, not having 12. Also, I heard about the JJK episode, Jujutsu Kaisen episode with Maki. This released as well. I agree with my take is I actually agree with the Japanese people, some of the Japanese people that I'm reading that it's actually too over animated. That was like a bit too much for me. I didn't really sense it all. I think that should have been darker, more drearier because she's killing a whole clan. And it's just a bunch of flashy nonsense after a while. I was just like, okay, but you could have done this so much better without doing so much to it. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes, less is more in some cases. So you gotta make people feel the emotion of it all. I didn't feel really anything for it. It's just, oh, this is cool, and it's like a light rave basically. So yeah, man, I'm with the criticism episode. I still think that could be so much better. I read JDK manga as well, so I read it and I really know what was coming ahead. But it's just I thought that moment was kind of so overblown as well. But because it's the Culling games coming up, I think we should wait a little bit and try to see what else they're gonna do. But anime is not always a hit. Do you know what I mean? Especially with great mangas and not translating to great animes like One Punch Man. But we're gonna leave it at that for now as far as like my thoughts of current anime and stuff like that. But we're gonna move on to the next subject.